path to the hilltop. A few steps further she could turn to the right and follow the driveway to the front of the cabin. He leaned forward, watching in an agony of suspense. Her beautiful face was transfigured with joy, aflame with love, radiant with smiles, and her tall figure fleecy white, rimmed in gold. Up the shining path of light she steadily advanced toward his door. Then the Harvester understood, and from his exultant heart burst the wordless petition, "Lord God Almighty, help me to be a man!" With outstretched arms he arose to meet her. "My Dream Girl!" he cried hoarsely. "My Dream Girl!" "Coming, Harvester!" she answered in tones of joy, as she dropped the white flower and lifted her hands to draw his face toward her. "Is that the kiss you wanted?" she questioned. "Yes, Ruth," breathed the Harvester. "Then I am ready to be your wife," she said. "May I share all the remainder of life's joys and sorrows with you?" The Harvester gathered her in his arms and carried her to the bench on the lake shore. He wrapped the white robe around her and clasped her tenderly, as behooved a lover, yet with arms that she knew could have crushed her had they willed. The minutes slipped away, and still he held her to his heart, the reality far surpassing his dream, for he knew that he was awake, and he realized this as the supreme hour that comes to the strong man who knows his love requited. When the first banner of red light arose above Medicine Woods and Singing Water, the cocks on the hillside announced the dawn. As the gold faded to gray, a burst of bubbling notes swelled from a branch almost over their heads, where stood a bark enclosed little house. "Ruth, do you hear that?" asked the Harvester softly. "Yes," she answered, "and I see it. A wonderful bird with heaven's deepest blue on its back, and a breast like a russet autumn leaf, came straight up the lake from the south, and before it touched the limb that song seemed to gush from its throat. And for that reason the greatest nature lover who ever lived says that it deserves preeminence. It always settles from its long voyage through the air in an ecstasy of melody. Do you know what it is, Ruth?" The Girl laid a hand on his cheek and turned his eyes from the bird to her face as she answered, "Yes, Harvester man, I know. It is your first bluebird, but it is far too late, and Belshazzar has lost his high office. I have usurped both their positions. You remain in the woods and reap their harvest. You enter the laboratory and make wonderful life-giving medicines. You face the world and tell men of the high and holy life they may live if they will. And then, always and forever, you come back to Medicine Woods and to me, Harvester." The end of the book.